Hey everybody, it's Mike Martin from Martin Chronicle. I'm having breakfast with Victor Sperandeo, who's in town to do some business in Beverly Hills. Victor, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here today. So Ben Bernanke was just confirmed. Is that confirmation going to play a part in what you just said about the markets kind of moving in V-ups and downs?
Well, as most people know, because I've been extremely critical of Ben Bernanke, he doesn't really have a role to play in the future of things that occur. He responds to what is occurring today. He has no concept of looking forward. I don't think he will have any other new influences that he hasn't had in the past. I mean, his job now is to keep rates at zero, because he was just renominated to do that by Democrats primarily. And so he's very influenced on easy money at this point in time. That's really the only thing you got to know about Ben.
Okay.
He's not going to be a guy that's going to jump out in front of things and say, well, this is going to happen. Let me start to tighten things up before they occur. He is now a political machine.
I hear you. Now, in a couple of weeks, you're going to give a presentation on inflation down in Dallas. Do you want to say a couple of things about that? Like, what are you doing to prepare? What things you're going to talk about?
Well, if you study, most people think of inflation along the lines of cost push, demand pull, all of these Keynesian-like economic terms that are given as reasons why moderate, underline the word moderate, inflation occurs. Mm-hmm. That is not my point of this particular up-and-coming inflation. The up-and-coming inflation is a far more difficult type of inflation to deal with. It has to do with too much debt and too much printing of money that will occur when this impossible amount of increase in debt cannot continue to occur. It is unsustainable. Now, as long as investors want to buy debt, it will continue. But if the GDP growth numbers, which are extremely high from now to 2019 in relative terms, if they don't occur, then more and more debt has to be raised to pay the bills that are entitlements and bills that can't be stopped easily from being paid. Therefore, the printing of money will continue and accelerate as debt is not raised, because there are less buyers who start to worry more about this debt being repaid. And it is unsustainable. And it really is not driven home to politicians, because they still look for ways to spend money, and they really are not concerned. I mean, they just believe things will just happen naturally, and we'll get the same kind of consequences we've got for the last 75 years, and that's just not going to happen. So what my concern is not moderate or low inflation, it's hyperinflation, due to the fact that there is too much debt being created which is not sustainable, and buyers of that debt, lenders, if you will, to the government, will back away, and that always leads to hyperinflation.
Yikes. They should go run mutual funds when they get out of office. Hey, you've read a couple thousand books, more than I have. Are there any off the top of your head that would be good reading right now?
Well, look, books on the market come out every day, and some are better than others. I've kind of not read books on the market that I can recommend in the last several years. There's many books that have to do with the future, such as End the Fed by Ron Paul. That kind of book,
sure,
I think is more the future. And it's basically fundamental that this fundamental place that the U.S. is in cannot easily be changed, if changed at all. And we're destined to go the way of a problem country, just like Argentina was the eighth largest country per capita in the world when it went into default and hyperinflation.
Right.
So I only suggest that perhaps reading about what could happen to past countries that got themselves into this kind of debt, where you're getting to 100% of GDP, and what has happened to those books. There's a fellow named Peter Bernholtz, and it has to do with the inflation regimes. I'm not giving you the exact title, but he's a man that probably knows more about inflation historically than any other human being. He's a professor, he's retired now from Basel, Switzerland. And that's more the point of what you should be reading than how to buy and sell stocks, because this is more a killer kind of potential that's coming up in the future, and buying and selling stocks is not relevant here. These are not normal times.
This has been Mike Martin from Martin Chronicle. Victor, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you again next month.
Thank you.